Sukuna has defeated Jogo and Mahoraga with a single shot of furnace flame, and in the latest chapter, he's going to do the same to Itadori. So in this video, we will explain this technique and answer how all the Sukuna's techniques come from a kitchen. The first time that we ever saw Sukuna use furnace flames was in the Shabuya Incident arc. In there, Sukuna took over the body of Yuji when he was able to consume a total of 15 fingers. After taking over the body, Sukuna was able to destroy everything and basically was able to do whatever he wanted. Eventually, we saw him fighting Jogo. Obviously, Jogo had no chance against him, but one of the most interesting things we saw and that raised many questions among us was the use of his own technique. At that time, many thought that it was a copy technique because before Sukuna used his flames, Jogo released his own flames. So it was fair to think that Sukuna was using Jogo's technique. However, Sukuna's flame strength was so powerful that it killed Jogo in a single hit. This shocked everyone because we thought that Sukuna's technique was only cleave and dismantle. Later on, when Sukuna fought against Mahoraga, he used the flame technique once again. Mahoraga was able to quickly adapt to the cleave and disseminate that Sukuna was using against him. Even the domain expansion did not work against Mahoraga, but when he used the flame, Mahoraga was defeated in a single shot. Both times, it was a single flame arrow. It is important to remember that before using this, he had to say Fuga, which means open, and both times it was a one-shot kill. Everyone knew this would play an important role against Gojo in the Shinjuku Showdown arc, but when used in the fight against Gojo, it was basically useless. This is because Infinity would prevent them from hitting the strongest sorcerer, and Sukuna himself admitted that he needed to peel Gojo's scales before finishing him off. Now Sukuna is going to use furnace flames on Itadori, and for the very first time, we found out the name of this cursed technique. So let's understand how Sukuna is using his techniques in the kitchen. In Japanese, kamino or kamado means a traditional stovetop that also has flames, and the idea is that Sukuna gets his flames from a stovetop. Another way of saying kamino is either God's stovetop or God's flames. However, there is a much deeper meaning to Sukuna's kamino or kamado flames, and it certainly does make sense why he's able to make use of them. To understand it further, we need to go back to season 2, where Sukuna's domain expansion was referred to as Malevolent Kitchen instead of Malevolent Shrine. While many people were angry or disappointed with this translation, in many cases, it actually makes more sense to refer to Sukuna's domain expansion as Malevolent Kitchen instead of a shrine. In Japanese, Sukuna's domain expansion is called Fukuma Mizushi. Fukuma itself has 2 kanji, meaning these characters have their own symbolism, and when they are combined together, they show the true meaning of Sukuna's domain expression. So, Fuku closely resembles bowing down, and Ma can be as red as a demon. This is essentially where the malevolent part of the domain expansion comes from, as it clearly implies something evil. Things get interesting when we look at the word Mizushi. Now, this word means shrine, but it can also be taken from Mizushi Dokoro, which is a term that was used to refer to a kitchen compound within an emperor's residential place a long time ago in Imperial Japan. This kitchen was used for preparing meals for the king or the emperor. Of course, Sukuna's domain expansion does look like a shrine as well, but the author likely used double meaning here because Mizushi can mean both things. But the kitchen compound fits perfectly for Sukuna. This is because Sukuna is evil, and it is his domain expansion that cooks evil in the first place. At the same time, Sukuna's cursed techniques are all taken from a kitchen. Cleave and dismantle are both cutting techniques that are used by a chef holding the blade, while dismantle is a regular slice. Cleave is a slice whose power depends on the toughness of the enemy. Then there is kamino or kamado. As mentioned earlier, kamado can be referred to as a stovetop. In the kitchen, there is a stovetop, and that stovetop is the source of the flames. Fuga, which is what Sukuna says before he opens the flames, so he opens the knob of the stove to ignite the burner, which is where the flames come from. Essentially, Sukuna's domain expansion is a kitchen of evil, or malevolent kitchen, and it gives him access to techniques from within the kitchen, where Sukuna is the chef, and he actually is the masterful creator of evil. So thank you guys for watching this video, and I will see you in the next video.